So here's the ground rules for the presentation. I'm going to go through a whole lot of things, and I only have, I think, like 20, 25 minutes. I'm going to go through really, really fast. And there's a whole lot that's going to be happening on the screen. So if you take your eyes off the screen for even a few seconds, you're going to miss a whole lot. Right? So you guys have to help me. As I've said, this is another presentation. If the person to your left is checking emails or text, what are you going to do? Left elbow, right? And if the person to your right, right elbow. Okay. And if anybody's falling asleep, double elbow during the presentation. All right? So, and also, we have to be very careful when we're eating because of the presentation. So you have to be very careful when you're taking that chicken off the plate, so you don't make too much noise with the knife and fork, okay? All right, so let's get started. So the port, everything at the port starts basically with our mission and our vision, which is to create 100,000 jobs, 100,000 jobs. Not just any jobs, but really high quality living wages jobs. And we do this through the 3 primary facilities or business units that we have at the port. Of course, the airport, whether this is in the area of rent-a-car or whether it's in our concessions program, and we have a really huge concessions program at the airport, or whether it's through ground transportation, through our THCs or our taxi cab operation. We have these facilities and we utilize it to create jobs. But we also have other facilities that are on the airport. We have a marine or maritime facility as well, and we create multiple jobs here as well, whether it's mechanics, whether it's crane operators, or whether it's welders, you name it, we create multiple jobs here. We also have the economic development unit or function, and their primary job is to utilize all the vacant properties that we have as part of the port to get shovel-ready properties ready for economic development. So again, the ultimate objective of the port is to create 100,000 living wages jobs. So how do we do this? We do this through 4 primary strategies. Technology, don't fail me. I'm supposed to point over here. There it is. 4 primary strategies. Now, of course, we want to be the premier international logistics hub for the region. So if any business or individual is considering moving, transporting, or distributing any product through this region, they should instinctively think of doing it through one of the port facilities, whether it's at the airport or at the seaport, right? Instinctively, they should think that way. The other strategy that we focus on is around diversity, right? And small business growth and workforce development is very important to us. And by small business, we also mean women-owned business, right? Minority businesses and local businesses as well. So that's the second strategy that we focus on. And another one that's very important to us is the environment. We want to be known as the green port. We want to take care of our fine feathered friends, and we want to utilize our fine furry friends to help us to maintain the airport. Now, must admit there is some carbon emission here, but not as much as the traditional lawnmower would produce, right? And we utilize preconditioned air to reduce the engine run times on our aircraft at the airport, and of course our ground service equipment, all electric chargers, etc. And finally, the final strategy is to be the tourist and business gateway for the region. So again, if you're considering doing leisure travel or business travel, again, you should instinctively think about using one of the facilities at the port. Again, whether it's the airport or at the seaport. Now, we have heard complaints about the airport on many occasions, and justifiably so, noise, and sometimes the impact on the environment. But we are a major economic engine as well. Right, major economic engine at the airport. We account for over 170,000 jobs, right? 110,000 of these jobs are direct jobs at the airport. The rest are indirect and induced jobs. We account for over 16 billion, that's with a B, in business income, and over 6 billion in personal income. We also account for 565 million in state and local taxes. So we are a major economic engine for the region. If you kick us out of the region, that's what you're kicking out, right? So remember that. the other part that's very important is that we literally are the front door to the region. If you think about it, we literally are the front door. And one of the things we try to do is to work with all the entities within the airport to make sure we have a pleasant experience for all our visitors. We had 9 million out-of-towners coming through the airport last year, and we try to welcome them with this sense of place, whether we do it through our arts program or whether we do it through our performing arts, by exposing our visitors to our unique music program, exposing them to local artists and local musicians. We try to make the very welcome coming through this front door, because you only get one opportunity to make a first impression, and we're responsible for making the first impression for millions and millions of people that come through this region. We have to do a lot of coordination, whether it's TSA, Customs and Border Protection, the concessionaires, everyone in the airport, in order to make sure we have this seamless experience for our traveling public. We're growing dramatically. You guys see it sometimes on the curb front. You see it with the security checkpoint lines, right? Maybe not so much these days because we're improving. But we're growing tremendously. In 2014, we grew 7.7%. 2015, we grew 12.9%. This year, we forecasted we're going to grow 5%. We're at 10.1%. Right now, we continue to grow. We are the fastest growing large-up airport in the United States. Not one of, the fastest. There are 42 million passengers. We're the 13th busiest right now, just below that other airport I came from. But we're going to pass them this year because we're anticipating we're going to be at about 46 million. All right? But growth at an airport is actually a good thing. Right? Because when an airport is growing, it's actually a reflection of what's happening in the region. It's a reflection of the economic vitality of the region. So you never want to be the managing director for an airport that's constricted, because it means the area, the surrounding area is also constricted, as you saw happen in Detroit and certain other areas recently. So it has challenges, but it's a good thing. New airlines coming, Spirit, April this year, direct flights to LA and Las Vegas. Right? Last week we just had Volaris starting the direct flight to Guadalajara 3 times per week, so you can go to Mexico. And next year in March 2017, we're going to welcome Virgin Atlantic. That's going to be having direct flights from London, so we're really looking forward to that one. But the really big one for us is going to happen in September of this year. And we have German Airlines that's coming out of China. Right, the top customer service-based airline that's going to be coming out of China. One of the reasons why it's so special for us to welcome German Airlines is that Seattle will be the first destination that they will be traveling to in the United States ever. And also, they're flying out of Shenzhen Airport. And this is the first time you're going to have a flight from Shenzhen Airport to anywhere in the United States. So we're very special in that arena. So we're looking forward to this in September. Also, that's a carbon fiber 787 Dreamliner aircraft, low emission, low noise, etc. All right, another part of our business that is sometimes under the radar is our cargo business. Right, but it's just as important as the passenger part of the operation as well. Lots of jobs are created and generated here. Now, we're nowhere near Memphis Airport or Hong Kong in terms of the volume of cargo. We're at about 330 million, 330,000 metric tons of cargo. That's still very significant, right? And of course, some of the obvious ones, I suppose, are cherries, especially at this time of the year, seafood. The one that might not be so obvious is footwear, and I think that's attributable to probably Nike, the Nike factory in Portland as well. But cargo is a very, very important aspect of the airport operation that sometimes goes under the radar. Okay, so growth is great, but of course it presents challenges, right? It presents lots of challenges to our passengers. We just do not have the facilities in place right now to accommodate all this tremendous growth that we are undergoing. And you see it, of course, in our security checkpoint line, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. It's just moving people through the airport, whether it's through our inter-terminal train, right, becomes challenging because of the volumes that we have. But not only for our passengers, it presents challenges for our airlines as well. We unfortunately have customers coming in on a flight from Asia or Europe, but 14-hour flight, and we have to hold them on the aircraft because we don't have any gates for them during peak. Or we have to hold them in corridors because we don't have the capacity to put them through the customs and border protection process. So again, the growth is great, but it comes with lots of challenges, not just for the passengers, but for the airline. And also the facilities that we have at the airport both present a major challenge in that area as well. We're literally bursting at the seams right now at the airport. As I said, it's a good thing, but there is help coming that I will speak about. Whether it's our baggage claim, our baggage handling system, or whether it's getting people through the security checkpoint. And one of the challenges that we have with the checkpoint right now is not necessarily the physical facilities, actually the resources that's being provided to our local TSA partners. They just have not been provided with the adequate staffing in order to keep pace with the growth. So we're working very hard. CLEAR is working very hard with our congressional delegation to make sure that we get the resources at the airport to do it. But sometimes it's really the simple things, right? Comfortable seating, accessible power, and free Wi-Fi. Sometimes that's all people want. So we're working on the simple things as well. The big things and some of the smaller things as well. Customer service, very important. A few months ago, we were at hour and a half, 2 hour wait time sometimes, and I said, listen, I want us to target 20 minutes. People said, Lance, you're crazy. And some of them are correct. Might be crazy sometimes. But we have made significant strides. We've brought on temporary workers to take on some of the work that the TSA was doing. And we've made significant strides. Restrooms, very important to me. It's one of my pet peeves. It always be clean, look clean, smell clean. It's the only facility in the airport that everybody uses. Everybody uses the restroom. So it's really very, very important for us. And we're going to be doing a major restroom renovation program at the airport as well. So more to come. We have about 9 miles of baggage belts at the airport, right? And we're going to be, but it's outdated. It cannot keep pace with the growth. It's not configured correctly. We're going to be spending $320 million to put in a brand new baggage handling system. It's going to be phased in between now and 2023. You'll see different phases. But you probably won't see it, but your bags will get to you faster. That's how you'll see it, right? So we're going to be doing major investment in that area. Other areas we're investing in are North Satellite facilities. This is where primarily Alaska is located, right? This facility was built in the 1970s. We've put some lipstick on it over the last few years, but that's not enough. And as you can see, it looks like it was built in the 1970s. So we're going to be upgrading it. So we're going to be adding 150,000 square feet to this facility. Then we're going to gut the existing facility and we're going to renovate the entire thing. So what you see now is that, but this is what it's going to look like. High ceilings, glass, brand new restroom, brand new shopping and dining and retail facility. Is going to be a really, really nice building, befitting of the region and of the passengers who travel through it. The other facility that we're going to be spending a lot of time, energy, and money on, of course, is the international arrival facility. We're going to be spending $608 million to build a brand new international arrival facility. As I told you, we have passengers after 11 or 12 hour flight. We have to hold them in the corridors, which is unacceptable. And this is actually what it looks like, holding people in corridors like this. Then they have to go and wait in the customs and border protection lines, like you're seeing that. Then after that, you have to go to baggage claim, and when you have 5, 6 wide body coming in at the same time, that's what it looks like. That is totally unacceptable for us, and I'm sure it's unacceptable to you. So we're going to be building a brand new international arrival facility. We're in design right now, high ceilings. We're going to have an iconic bridge connecting the international arrival facility to our South Satellite facility, and it really is going to be spectacular. You won't be in a dungeon type environment like most of the airports. You're going to be overland. You're going to be lots of glass, lots of sunshine whenever we get it. You will see. And I just want to point out one thing just real quickly. This is where the new international arrival facility is. This is this iconic bridge that I'm going to be speaking about. So you first time to the USA or to the region, you're going to be going over this bridge. You're looking to the north, you're looking at the Olympic Mountains. You're looking to the south, you're going to see the majestic mountain here. Just imagine your first experience in the US. Hoping it's nice and sunny as it usually is in Seattle when you arrive. So that's what we're working on as our capital development program, and we call that what we're doing immediately. And immediately in airport terms is like between now and the next 5 to 6 years. But what's going to happen in the next 25 years or so? We have to plan for that. The forecast that we are undergoing right now, or the forecast that we've done, basically saying that in 2024 we're going to be at about 52 million passengers. In 2034 we're going to be at about 66 million passengers, and our operations are landing and takeoff over 500,000 operations. So how do we keep pace with this growth? How do we make sure that we're not the bottleneck for the region? That's where our SAMP, or Sustainable Airport Master Plan, comes in. And so we're planning for the future. We're looking at all the facilities that we will require in order to keep pace with this growth. So we're going to be building new gates, maybe about 35 or additional gates. We're going to be building new terminal facilities, people mover systems, so we make sure we keep pace with this growth. So we're the only airport in the U.S. that has a Sustainable Airport Master Plan right now. That means we have sustainability built in our planning process. It's not an afterthought, it's actually built in the master plan. So more to come on that. Now, as we keep pace with this growth, as we make sure we're not the bottleneck within the region, as we do all of this construction project, we have to be mindful and we have to be aware that we're operating in this environment that has communities around it. And so the environment is extremely important to us. And that is why we want to be the environment leader within this region. And we have done a lot of projects to make sure that happens. What you're looking at right now is just a small section of 112 acres of wetlands that we have constructed, and also over 350,000 native plants and shrubs that we have planted as part of this project. We have underground fuel lines and fuel pits, so we reduce the number of tankers that we bring into the region. We're doing biofuel research with Alaska and Boeing right now as an alternative fuel source for the aircraft. The TNCs that just started, Uber and Lyft, they all have to meet a 45 mile per gallon equivalency, just like the taxis. So we're doing lots of things to make sure that we have a minimum impact, negative impact on the environment as we undergo these massive construction projects at the airport, and we protect the environment. The one that we're really proud of that happened recently was that we're the first airport in the United States to have achieved the Salmon Safe certification. First airport in the United States. We have achieved this because of the measures that we have undertaken to make sure we protect the Puget Sound water quality, and also to protect the salmon habitat. So we're really very, very proud of that as well. So one of the things that I've learned working in the aviation industry for the last 17 years is that no matter how great I think I am, and sometimes I think I'm actually great, but no matter how great I think I am, I can't get this done by myself. I have a really talented team at the airport. Talented team, say hi. Airport talented team. I have a really talented team at the airport, but we can't do it by ourselves. I have support from the neighboring community, and we need support from entities such as the Bellevue Chamber. We need support from you. We need your expertise, we need your suggestions, we need your ideas, we need your criticism as well. Constructive, that is, don't try to kill the projects we're doing at the airport. But seriously, we need your constructive criticism, because when you criticize stuff that we do, right, then you make the product and the service that we're trying to create at the airport a whole lot better. So we really need your support. We really need to have this symbiotic relationship with you guys. And I'm really looking forward to working very closely with each and every one of you as we embark on all these projects, just to make sure that we keep pace with the growth that's taking place in this great region. So thank you guys for having me here today. I sincerely appreciate it. And if you have any questions, no matter how tough those questions are, I have Marco right there that will be able to answer. Thank you guys. No hard questions, please.
So talking about the North Satellite Innovation and the International Terminal, it sounded like that was about $1 billion. Is that right?
So one of them is 615. The other one was 618. It's gonna be increased a little bit. So the scope has changed a little, yes.
What's the financial plan for that?
So it's a combination. So we're using PFCs, So we have PSCs, we have bonds, and we have port money. So 3 basic sources of finance. Yes, sir.
Actually, a follow-up to that, there are all those projects that you mentioned, there was a lot of dollars. Are they already allocated?
Yes.
So-
Yes, except for the South Satellite, we're still in planning for the South Satellite. The North Satellite, we're actually in design right now. The IF, we're actually doing the enabling projects right now for the IF. And the baggage handling is, we're going to have multiple phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So that's going to span all the way until 2023. So there's going to be still lots of opportunities if anyone wants to participate in those projects. Yes, sir.
Can you comment on the target date for completion of the International Arrival Center?
The International Arrival Facility is targeted for 2019, and the North Satellite is 2021. We don't have a date for the South Satellite yet because we're just still in planning for that facility. The baggage handling is going to be, the entire thing is going to be completed in 2023, but there are different phases, 2029, 2022, 2023. Sorry, 2019, not 2029, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
So in the meantime, before international arrivals gets renovated, people are trying to get into global entry. I don't know if you can speak to this.
Yes.
From what I'm hearing from corporate clients, they can't get their interviews done until like December.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of complaints about that, and we've been, maybe I should like clear answer this, but no, we've been working very closely with Customs and Border Protection, not just global entry, but also people who are just trying to get pre-check alone, and we're telling them that it's really unacceptable, the time frame. However, we are going to open a pre-check facility at the airport, when are we targeting? I think it's sometime soon. We're going to have a pre-check facility at the airport, so that's going to make it a whole lot easier. Now, it's a good thing that a lot of people are actually applying for pre-check and global entry because it will make our lives easier at the airport because you can get process a whole lot more people faster through the checkpoint. So we're working on that. So there's a question over here. Yes, sir.
I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Is the South Terminal and the internationals, are those 2 separate projects?
Yes, they're 2 separate projects, but they're related. The bridge,
Yeah.
that's going in as part of the International Arrival Facility. It actually goes over the taxiway, or the taxi lane, and it connects to the South Satellite facility. But it's 2 separate projects.
Okay.
Yes?
So with the growth that's coming up over the next 10, 20 years, are you guys also working with the Department of Transportation for access in and out of the airport?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you answered that question. I should nail that one. Because we actually just did the charrette. We have different, what we call charrette, which are planning sessions as part of the master plan. And we actually just did the ground transportation charrette today. And there are multiple options that we're looking at in terms of getting into, getting out of, building the new terminal. So we'll be working with the DOT, with the FAA, the local jurisdictions. And one of the suggestions that was made today was actually try to create another lane coming into the airport. Don't know exactly how we're going to be doing that, but it's too congested coming in and out of the airport. But all of that is part of the master plan process right now. Yes. Yes, sir.
What's the theoretical capacity of the airport? I know technology
Yeah.
changes, it's better, but what's the ultimate?
The ultimate, based on the space, constrained space that we have right now, if we don't go outside of the airport, is 66 million passengers and I think 540,000 operations. 540,000 Yes, sir.
How far is the master plan book?
20 years, 25 years. We go up to 2034 as part of this master plan, 2034.
Are you guys organizing how the baggage gets from like people to
Yeah. Yes, we have a disparate baggage handling system or set of systems right now. So the $320 million that I spoke about, we're going to put in one consolidated baggage system. And you can basically drop your bag off at any terminal anywhere and it will get to the aircraft anywhere on the airfield and get to your destination and vice versa coming in. So. I don't know if that's a good clap. I mean, the experience hasn't been so good, but yeah, we're working on it. Yes, sir.
I
ever since the 70s, there's been talk off and on, and it's mainly off, about the use of the old Boeing plant. Is that something that is factored in at some point?
Yeah, everything is on the table. We have spoken, we have ideas, and we're looking at different ways. Some suggestion is that you take all the cargo operation, send it to Boeing, for example. But one of the things you have to understand is that most of the cargo actually that we move through the airport is what we call belly cargo. So it's actually in the passenger aircraft. And so to split that operation is kind of difficult. So, but we're looking at that. Some might say, hey, take a particular airline and move them to another, or split some of the airline's operation. But splitting airline's operation can be extremely expensive. So we're looking at multiple options. We're looking at how do we expand cargo. You know, do we go off-site with some of the cargo facilities as well. So all of that is included in the master planning right now. And one of the things would probably be good, Claire, I'm not sure if we've done a master plan presentation to this chamber as yet.
It was done to committees, but.
To committees?
Yeah.
So that might be a good thing we can do in the future so you guys can see what we have planned. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have, is the master plan, it's not finished yet, or is it?
No, we're in what we call the, there are several phases, and one of the phases is to look at multiple alternatives, and then you select a preferred alternate. We are at the selecting the preferred alternate phase right now, and that should be completed by September. Now, once we've finished that phase, then we do what we call more detailed planning.
What I was wondering is the existing plan, the interim plan, is that online right now?
We have it on the website, right? Yeah, you should be able to see it on the website.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I heard a rumor that you might be considering building a second airport in this region, maybe farther north. Is that a possibility?
That is a possibility, but we are not looking at building one. Yeah, no, we're not looking at building one. We're trying to build the one that we operate right now. But at some point in time, if the growth continues, decades from now, when probably none of us are around, you know, we may have to have another airport somewhere. But that's not what we're focused on right now. But an airport takes a minimum 20 years of planning, so you know you really have to start looking at it from, and that's 20 years if you're really lucky and moving fast to build a brand new airport. Yes, ma'am.
With all the new growth, what additional steps are being taken for the security of the passengers?
So, in my philosophy is the safest and securest thing you can do is get passengers through that checkpoint in the shortest time. And so, if you notice, if you've been to the airport over the last few months, you'll see some contract workers. They're in white outfits and they're really nice and polite and everything, and they're helping. So we have brought on temporary workers because the TSA does not have this, and we have a really great relationship with our TSA partners, local partners, but they just have not been provided with the adequate staffing from Washington in order to open all the checkpoints that we need. So what we have done, we have brought in temporary workers, and what we have done is the temporary workers have taken on the non-security function that the TSA is, you know, the divesting, hey, take your shirt off, take your shirt off, blah, 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 all of that. So they're doing those things. And so that frees up now the TSA agents to actually open more lanes to do screening and scanning, which is the security-related function. That's what we want them to do. So that's what we have done in the interim, so we can open more lanes and get more people through the airport. We also have other measures that we're taking. We have more dogs. You'll see more dogs. You'll see more police. We have vapor sniffing dogs. And there are other things we're doing that I obviously can't talk about here in a public forum as well. But security is always our top priority, safety and security at the airport. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Yes.
Are you guys looking at technology such as Clear or?
So Clear was supposed to start this week, I'm sorry, but there's a delay and the new target date is the 22nd.
Okay.
With Clear, we're going to have them at checkpoint 2 and checkpoint 3, and I think Delta is actually going to be running their Diamond passengers through Clear as well. So yes, Clear, we're doing the installation right now. They're going to do a soft launch and then they're going to do a full-blown launch as well. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to point out, yes, we have a lot of, I'm from TSA, obviously. We're thankfully getting.
You should have told me you were here before. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we've got a lot more canine action happening, and if you're flying in the morning, it's not a nightmare. My daughter flew out last week, and she waited in line at Starbucks for a cup of tea longer than she did in the security line, which we thought was amazing. And, you know, TSA might have been humiliated into doing the right thing, but they are, and that's giving humongous amounts of overtime. So instead of having 3 lanes open out of 10, we're having 10 lanes open, and that's pushing people through. And, you know, the contractors are what they are, but, you know, please give credit to where it's due. We've got a lot of people working a lot, like 112, 115 hours a paycheck out there. They're 12 hours a day.
Overtime, they've been pumping overtime,
And
I
that's what's
guess.
pushing people through, you know, and, you know. so
Thank
point
you.
that out for folks, you know.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
And maybe related to that, what's the, we get to the end of the summer travel season, what's the newspaper headline you want to see?
None.
It's sunny.
Yes, sir.
Given your growth projections, do you foresee having any additional runway capacity?
No. No more runways.
The third runway is.
The third runway is it. We're not doing any more runways.
Only took 20 years.
Yeah, we're not doing any more runways. We really need gates. Gates is where we're constrained right now. Gates and terminal facility and roadways on the drives coming into the airport. We're good on runways. In the future, when I probably will not be here. So. All right.
Any more
There's
questions?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.